Alright guys, here is my first match of 2022, and I think it's my first, maybe my second match since Nationals in October of last year. So just been ramping it up about a couple weeks prior, doing some really good dry fire, some couple new techniques, and really felt good. Way better, shot way better in this than I thought. I was moving really well. Kind of doing just some at-home workouts. So breaking this stage down, really trying to be explosive, just real dynamic movement, getting off from the buzzer as fast as possible, but within control. So this one's simple. You can go, I just went left then right because I was going to finish, as you saw at the end there, with my right hand on the right side of that last position. So this was good. We had a target right in front of you open. Can't see it here, but it's the same on the side I'm shooting now as it is what you'll see on this side as I come to the second position over here. Just as you can see, trying to be explosive, but then control it so that I don't overshoot my position and get my foot right on that baseboard like I did for this. I took the headshot first instead of the easy so that I could leave on this close target here right in front of me. Then the headshot was about 10 yards. Then the open target downrange was about 20. And as you see here, I shoot, I'm like, basically took one sight picture for 2 shots, and I was already disrespecting that target, leaving as soon as I could. Kind of, I got alphas there just because it was so close, but that was pretty disrespectful on that target as I left just to get down here. It's a little jaunt, so the setup here is pretty much just stand on the baseboard, grab the wall, and then I'm single hand shooting. The outsides are 2 headshots, and the open paper is in the middle. So it is what it is. As you see, I took a little extra time here at the end on that kind of, it was diagonal across, because I thought maybe I missed on my second shot, but it was actually almost a double. It wasn't really a double. It just kind of looked like I may have missed because I saw one hole, but it was a big hole. So I had to take an extra little time to see if I actually hit it on my second shot there. So that's kind of what the hesitation was. I didn't know if I needed to follow up. So that was that. That was my first. Had some nerves there, but it felt good overall. A little too many Charlies than I wanted. I think I had 4 or something. Here, my favorite stage of the day. Just the way it flowed, I could just shoot pretty much the whole time. This was a good stage because it kind of,
How you do it.
obviously it's fast, it's short, but it kind of tricks you. You start here. I took 3 because I wasn't sure if my second shot came into the black, but I threw a third shot. I didn't need it, turns out, but I threw it anyways just to make sure I had it. And then as you see, it's just it's deceiving. What I saw a lot of people do, including myself, and I felt it in the walkthrough, that I might get, you didn't need to move forward as much as you did, I guess, if that makes sense. So basically everybody was getting pressed up against that fence all the way at the front, or the wall up at the front, too soon. And so knowing that, I tried to hold myself back shooting these targets, because you've got 3 on each side coming up, and then the reload, you have time to make a lot of ground up. I didn't really need to, just a little step before I could peek around that corner at those 2 targets. I kind of prepared for both in case I was crammed up against that wall, but ideally you just wanted to be back a little bit so that you could transition without to those poppers right there that I'm shooting without any movement. And then it's just kind of like a shuffle step over to see these poppers, and the final 2. I was a little disappointed. I really wanted to go clean, and I had a makeup. I just kind of pulled the shot a little early coming around that corner, but it worked out really good. I can't remember what I got. I just only had a couple Charlies. I don't remember exactly, but it definitely, the time was fast on this, and the hits were good. I just, like I said, my goal this year, a couple goals, but a big one is trying to go 1-for-1 on steel. Obviously, that's always a goal, but really doing some specific training to try to make sure that happens this year or more. I noticed a lot of gaps I could have closed at nationals. One of them being 1-for-1 on steel. Had a lot of makeups on steel, and I practiced it a lot. So
are you ready?
I was surprised. This one, so a little story behind this. We'll watch it and I'll explain it. For one, when I shot this match, I had worked the night before. I worked graveyard shift, so it took me a second to realize what happened when that mag fell out. I got the reload done quick. I salvaged it. I shot my game plan afterwards, but the real story is, besides the fatigue just from being tired and having to figure out that I had to rack the gun after the mag falls out, is I had just got a couple parts prior to this match that I had not actually tested. Well, I tested, so Align Tactical makes a takedown lever / thumb rest, gas pedal, whatever you want to call it, that I had for about a week prior, and I had shot it in a practice and it felt pretty good. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Then they sent me a mag release, which I actually really like, but I didn't test it with the holster and live fire. I just put it in the night before, felt good. I figured I'd test it at the match. So in doing so, anytime I didn't do a scoop draw, so anytime I came down on the mag release rested on my holster, and if I did a scoop draw, it just came out and it was fine. But if I did, like, this was the first stage I did it, if I did a snatch draw and put any pressure on it, it would release the mag, and then when I'd shoot, the mag would drop out. So I still shot good points. I think I was down 2 Charlies here or something like that. I still had good points because the other part of it is really honing in where every shot is going. I always try to do that, but especially, just really focusing on my sight picture this year and being extra disciplined, and then, letting speed just happen. Not trying to push the speed, because what I do in practice and what I do with my dry fire training will give me the speed I need. I don't have to try to push for it. But yeah, another good stage. Flowed really well. But yeah, it was just kind of like one of those things. Don't put new parts in without trying it. Although this is just a level 1, so not a big deal, but still, I always know that I tell other people this, just, any new parts, test them out first. Don't try them in a match unless you don't care about the match. And I always end up trying new things in a match, so I don't take my own advice. But still, I was moving well. It felt good. A couple things I think I can clean up on some footwork. Footwork is pretty decent overall, and these are short stages. Our bays are pretty small, so you don't get to see some of the things I would like to practice that you see in the bigger matches, just due to our bays being the size they are and similar and whatnot. Another great stage here.
Are you ready?
We'll watch this and then
Stand
I'll
by.
break it down a little bit better. You basically have 3 shooting areas. You shoot those 3 from there. This one you get 2, and then the last one is these. You got 4 paper and 2 steel, and that last position is crucial, but pretty simple. I was gonna draw originally to the left side, shoot the close target, shoot the far target, and then leave going forward on that target right there that I just shot. But Todd Kinsella, a fellow competitor and a guy I train with all the time, who's last year really helped me. We push each other in our practices, and it makes all the difference in the world having a good partner. Showed me, what about this, that whole, that I didn't see, and I was just like, so I checked it out and did the walkthrough, and the big part was right here. As I'm coming into this second shooting area, I could take this target coming straight at it, which was much more comfortable than the other way, twisting my body to the right to take it. And then it just sets me up easy to plant my foot where I wanted it so that I could take this tight target. Even though it was close, it was just awkward around that corner. But that was a huge tip, something that I probably wouldn't have seen. And then the other part, so thanks to Todd for that, but then the other part was getting your spot here with this stance, because these were oriented in such a way that you just kind of had to get your stance right, or else you would have had to take a little shuffle step. And then coming into that little lunge into it as I finished these last few targets, which is open paper, the 2 steel, again having another makeup shot, which I was super disappointed with, and then kind of a sideways behind those white barrels. It was open paper, but it was kind of sideways, so a little different. If you're not shooting targets sideways, it's just a different way to take them that you've really got to. It's kind of like if you watch my last video or one of the more recent videos of mine, why I do that tape on there. I do it vertically and horizontally, and that would be more of a horizontal training. So here is where I figure out about my mag release, or my mag release, and then that was the culprit. So as soon as it happened, at least this time I was a little more alert and privy to what was going on. Was really good. I think my dropped first shot, or my first shot time I think was 1:15, I believe, but then kind of destroyed any chances of getting 100% on this, because it was almost like an unloaded start, obviously. So, but I learned from it, and I've actually got new holsters coming on the way from GX products. Leif is taking care of me, and I'm excited for those holsters. And it actually it shouldn't have any issues, he says, with the Align tactical products that I'm currently using. So shot the classifier well. I had one Charlie, but I really slowed it down after and tried to make sure I got my points even more so after obviously the mag fell out. But it felt like it. I mean, at least from that buzzer to first shot, that turn felt really solid. Actually, all day felt really solid. I was really happy with these stages. It was just these 5 stages. It's short, but it had been a while since I've shot a match, and doing so after working a 12-hour shift, being up for, by the end of the day, I mean, it was after the match and I didn't go to bed, but it was just one of those long days. I think I was up for 30 hours. But that's the life. So anyways, we had our awards. This was from last year, 2021. They awarded, I got overall overall law enforcement, and then carry optics division for the entire year. So it's really cool. This club is awesome. Great people, went out of their way, made trophies that, I mean, we all enjoyed and were thankful for, and then had a great meal together. And so I'm fortunate to be part of this club and thankful for the people that are involved. So hopefully you guys have good clubs out there. I know there's a lot of them, and that's why a lot of us are in this sport. It's why I enjoy it so much more than anything. Love competing, but the people make all the difference. And obviously this is my collaboration with GrayGuns, the GrayGuns P320 Lockwood, and you can see the takedown lever on there, which is like the best version of a thumb rest or gas pedal, whatever you want to call it, that I've seen. It's very functional, and it didn't get in my way when I established my grip, which I was worried about, and it didn't influence the gun pushing it to the right that I've noticed. Like, I've used the Go guns, and I've used the Armory Craft, and it just influenced, because of the angle of it, I unintentionally influenced the gun and push it offline during recoil. And that wasn't the case with this. This is actually set up really well, and I'm really liking it. I'm still learning it, but I noticed once after this match, I did a dry fire without it, and it felt like my grip wasn't as secure, surprisingly. And I have no problem with grip, no problem with recoil control, so I didn't get it for that, but for grip alignment, it helped helped a lot, I thought. So something to look at, and something I'll be using for the near future that I see. So that's my video. I appreciate you watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.